In this module, we'll review features and tips to help you manage your virtual troop meeting. We'll focus on 5 key features that every Zoom host should be familiar with. These features include entrance options, muting and unmuting participants, renaming participants, chat settings, and removing participants. When scheduling your meeting, you can customize participant entrance options to provide a safer virtual environment for your troop. There are several entrance options we recommend when scheduling your meeting. To add an additional layer of security, we recommend enabling a meeting passcode in waiting room. Using a passcode in waiting room, attendees can be verified by the meeting host or co-host before they're admitted to the meeting. Once your meeting is scheduled, we recommend sending access information only by email and only to email addresses on file for your troop. Sending access information via social media or text message is not as secure. We also recommend disabling the Join Before Host feature. If enabled, participants will be able to join the meeting without the host present. The authorized adults hosting the meeting should be present anytime Girl Scouts are in the virtual meeting space. You might also consider muting participants upon entry. This helps limit background noise and chatter as participants settle in. They will be able to unmute themselves once they're ready to speak. Once your meeting has started and everyone has arrived, you can lock the meeting to prevent anyone else from joining, even if they have the meeting ID and passcode. At the bottom of the participants panel, click the ellipses to expand a list of options. At the bottom, click Lock Meeting. Generally, participants can mute or unmute themselves and share or hide their video. As the meeting host, you can also mute and unmute participants and share and hide their videos. There are 2 ways that you can mute an individual participant. Please note that you can also share or hide videos the same way. The first method is by hovering over the profile picture or video. The option to mute or unmute will appear in the top right side of their video. Note that while you can mute any individual participant without their permission, you cannot unmute a participant without Zoom first asking if they wish to unmute. The second way to unmute a participant is using the Participants panel. Click on Participants in your control panel to pull up the list of all meeting participants. Hover over the name of the participant you wish to mute or unmute. The meeting host or co-host can mute or unmute all participants simultaneously by pulling up the participant panel and selecting Mute All at the bottom. You will be asked to confirm your selection and to specify if you'd like participants to be able to unmute themselves. As the meeting host, you may need to rename participants due to safety concerns, participants with the same name, or inappropriate names. As a safety precaution, advise all Girl Scouts to limit their names on Zoom to their first name, last initial, or a camp name. Girl Scouts should not be using their full names on virtual platforms. Participants can easily rename themselves by finding their names on the participants list and clicking Rename. In a similar fashion, a meeting host or co-host can rename a participant by hovering over their name in the Participants panel and clicking Rename. Participants may also be renamed using the ellipses in the top right corner of their profile picture or video. Zoom's chat feature is a great way to send quick messages to participants, but chats can get unruly without proper settings and monitoring. As previously reviewed, you have several options for customizing your meeting chat. When signed into your account, click on Settings. Under the Meeting tab, go to In Meeting Basic. You'll see several options related to chat here. You can enable or disable chat for all participants. You can prevent participants from saving chats. You can block one-to-one chats. We do recommend disabling private chats for your troop meetings. You can also prevent auto-saving chats and transferring files in the chat box. Here are a few more tips to help you manage your group chat. When meeting in a virtual space, it's a good idea to discuss appropriate behavior with your Girl Scouts. You might even modify your troop agreement to include guidelines for participating in an online meeting, including the meeting chat. Girl Scouts should remember that everything they share in the chat is seen by all participants. All chat messages should be appropriate and relevant to the Girl Scout meeting. It will be helpful to have a co-host who can carefully monitor the chat to respond to questions or flag inappropriate content. Finally, know that you can make in-meeting changes to your chat. For example, you can block participants from sending messages to anyone but the host, or block all chats entirely. The meeting host and co-host can remove any participant from a meeting. By default, if you remove participants, they won't be able to rejoin using the same email address unless you have allowed remove participants to rejoin in your Zoom account settings. There are two ways to remove a participant from the meeting. The first is by clicking the ellipses on their profile picture or video. Here, you'll see the option to remove. The second way is to click participants on your control panel. This will pull up the list of participants. Hover over the name of the participant you wish to remove for more options. Select Remove. We hope you'll find these features helpful in managing your next troop meeting.